everybody, I'm Jason.
I'm Brian.
And it's week 4 of the NFL season. Last week I was 9-7, and overall I'm 22-23-3, a little bit more of a comeback, almost at that 500 mark.
And I'm 8-8 last week, and for the year I'm 21-24-3.
And not to gloat, but I'm 2 for 2 on my upsets and 2 for 2 on my locks.
Ain't that special. And I'm 0 for 2 on my locks, and 0 for 2 on my upsets, even though one covered.
All right, let's just get started. Week 4, we're a quarter of the way through the season. It just seems like it's flying. I mean, I love the NFL season, but it just goes so fast.
Yeah.
But at Dallas, 1.5 point favorite over Detroit. I've got Detroit. I think Detroit's on a roll. I think that the defense for Detroit is going to be able to get to Romo and bang him up some more. So I got Detroit to win.
Yeah, I'm going to take Detroit. You know, they got to a bad start last week against Minnesota, but like every other team, they're able to rebound in the second half when they play Minnesota. Dallas, injuries, Miles Austin not playing, you know, Romo's banged up.
Yep.
So I'm taking Detroit here. I think 1.5 points, it's an easy cover.
And Matthew Stafford is starting for the Dirty Trombones this week, too.
Oh,
He took the place of Vic? I had to sit him. He's too hurt right now. I got to start that hot hand with that Stafford. Next up, we got New Orleans. They're a 7-point favorite at Jacksonville. Jacksonville's going to be starting Gabbert again. Gabbert had 197. Decent. They're not going to be able to keep up with New Orleans. Colston, I think, is back. I don't know if they use him much, but I got New Orleans to cover.
Yeah, just New Orleans, 7 points at Jacksonville. I know the last time they played, New Orleans had to do the little fake play to
they don't need any fake.
Yeah, they're not going to need that this week. It's an easy cover.
Next up, we got at home. Philadelphia is a 9-point favorite over San Francisco. San Francisco played well last week. Philly's coming home. They need a win. Mike Vick his hand wasn't broke. It was bruised or whatever. I really think they're going to try and make a statement. All they got to do really is stop Gore, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I think Gore is playing. He was hurt, banged up all week. Philadelphia, cover the 9.
Yeah, I think if you could say a game's a must-win, this is definitely one for Philadelphia. They're 1-2. San Francisco has a really good defense. I like their defense, but that offense just hasn't shown me a lot yet. So I'm taking Philadelphia to cover 9.
Next up, we have Washington coming here at St. Louis. Washington's a 2.5 point favorite. Once again, I got to do it. This is my lock. I got Washington. St. Louis to me looks lifeless. Bradford's in a sophomore slump or something. I don't know what's going on. I just don't see it coming. I have no idea what's going on, to be honest with you. I hear all the talk radio. Washington. I'm not even going to say anymore. I'm just frustrated with the Rams.
I'm taking St. Louis.
Homer.
Whatever. And here's what, it's not Bradford. Bradford is playing well. What you have to realize is that this is a new offense in place by Josh McDaniel. You've got 5 and 7 step drops compared to 3-step drops last year under Shermer. That means your offensive line has to hold the blocks longer. You got 2 tackles who are in their 2nd and 3rd year respectively. They're adjusting. You know, it's going to take time. You've got receivers who have to get open. Obviously, you know, we know our receiving core is not that great. You've had injuries on the defense. Losing Ron Bartel for the year was a killer. I mean, you didn't have wiggle room at cornerback.
Amendola comes back maybe this week.
Maybe. Jackson's coming back. He's going to get the bulk of the carries. I like St. Louis to turn it around this week. Granted, Green Bay, New Orleans, Dallas coming up. Not going to get any easier, but I like St. Louis to cover and probably win this game.
Next up, at home, we got Cleveland against Tennessee. Tennessee's been playing better. They go up to Cleveland. Now, they did lose Kenny Britt.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Donnie Avery. Donnie Avery couldn't make the Rams.
They'll probably be joining Britt on the injured list here soon.
I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland. I think the McCoy Magic just rolls on and they win this one.
Yeah, this is a tough game. I mean, I like Tennessee, but Hillis is back this week. Cleveland's at home. Got to take Cleveland.
Next up, we got Buffalo at Cincinnati. Buffalo with the big upset last week against New England. Their offense with Fitzpatrick and help me with the receivers.
You got Fred Jackson. You got Steve Johnson.
Yeah. I think they put up a ton of points. Cincinnati has a decent defense, but I don't think they can score. And Buffalo doesn't have that good of a defense themselves. But we've been getting a few feedbacks on every time we go against Cincinnati, somebody says, "Whoa, you got Cincinnati, are you on drugs or whatever?" No, Cincinnati's a new team. Dalton's a rookie. Their receiving core is brand new, basically. And you got Cedric Benson's a good running back, but it's Cedric Benson. I mean, it's not Adrian Peterson back there. So
now, he's supposed to play this week, even though I think he was supposed to have a 3-week suspension.
But even with him in there, I don't think he's a game changer.
I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I came really close to taking Cincinnati to cover 3 here, but I'm going to take Buffalo to cover the 3. The Cincinnati has actually played better than I thought they would. They've had some, they beat Cleveland, close game at Denver. Close game against San Francisco, but I like Buffalo to keep rolling.
Next up, we got Minnesota going to Kansas City. Minnesota's actually a 2-point favorite. Everybody knows Minnesota's blown just big leads in the second half. I don't think they do it this time. Kansas City just doesn't have an offense right now. And even though Kansas City is home, it's a great place, a great home atmosphere for them, I think Minnesota actually goes up there and wins this game.
I'm taking Kansas City to cover 2 at home, and this is my upset pick of the week. I'm taking Kansas City to win. So obviously, based on past and the way I've done, that means they'll lose. But they played really well against San Diego. Came out of nowhere. Didn't expect that. I don't think Minnesota's going to blow the league because I don't think they'll have it. So I'm going to take Kansas City to cover and win.
Yeah, it's nice actually to see Kansas City in that game be competitive.
Yeah, exactly. I really didn't expect
Unlike
it.
here, and the Rams have not played a competitive game yet. So going back to that, I'm just really ticked off at them. Oh, speaking of that, it's our show. We can do what we want. I'm going to kind of say right now, I really haven't been into football this week. I meant to say this before the video to preface I suck this week. There's a reason. Yes, our St. Louis Cardinals made a miraculous run in September and made it to the playoffs. We're up in Philly. I mean, just every game for the last week. I mean, even going into last Sunday, we were 3 out with 5 to go. I didn't think it was over, and then they just made it come around. And I mean, I've basically had Cardinal Wood all week, so I really haven't seen much. I mean, I haven't catching up much on the football now. I did a little studying, but we'll see how we do. But go Cards. And
mad props to Charlie Manuel and the Phillies. They could have sat their players, and they didn't. They kept the throttle going. So
now back to football. At Chicago against Carolina. Chicago's a 6.5-point favorite. I'm actually going to take Carolina to cover. I don't think they're going to win this game at Chicago. It's tough to win on the road. But I think Carolina's going to be able to hang in there, but Chicago ekes one out at the end.
You think Greg Olson has a chip on his shoulder coming back to Chicago for the first time?
Yeah, but, I mean, he's a tight end.
Hey,
Cam Newton's been playing well. He came a little bit back to earth last week.
I think he'll stay down to earth this week. Chicago at home, 6.5. Run the ball. Mike Martz, you were here in St. Louis, and you did the same thing here. You're going to kill your quarterback. Use Matt Forte. Run the ball. I'm taking Chicago to cover 6.5.
Yeah, Forte definitely could be a poor man's Marshall Faulk if they used him right. But next up, we got at home Houston against Pittsburgh. I'm going to take Houston. It's 3.5 points. I really think Houston, if they can get to Ben Roethlisberger and bang him up, he's not that effective this year. I mean, people have gotten to him. They have not played very well. Houston can put the points on the board. Arian Foster comes back. I hope he's a factor. If he's a factor, I don't think this is close, but I'm going to take Houston right now.
I'm taking Pittsburgh on the road to cover 3.5. I'm guaranteeing that probably Dick LeBeau chewed some people's asses on that defense for giving up 20 points to Indianapolis. Rashard Mendenhall, you need to run the ball better. You need a better average. He's only averaging 3 yards a carry. I'm taking Pittsburgh to cover 3.5.
And next up at home, we have Seattle hosting Atlanta. Atlanta's a 4.5-point favorite. I kind of teetered on this one. I actually thought Seattle could hang in there and maybe cover this, but I think Atlanta needs a win bad, and I'm going to take Atlanta to actually probably do fairly well, hopefully win by about 7 points or so.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta to cover here. Seattle, we talked about the home field advantage last week. That's against Arizona. This is Atlanta. They're 1-2. They need this game. I'm taking Atlanta to cover.
Next up, we have the New York Giants traveling to Arizona. The Giants are a 1-point favorite. Once again, I think the Giants, these are games they're going to have to win. Arizona should be able to pass the ball on the Giants, but somehow I think the Giants are going to eke one out and win one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Giants. Arizona, I think, is 25th against the rush in defense and 27th against the pass.
Keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I see Bradshaw having a big game here. I can see Fitzgerald having a good game too, but I'm taking Giants to cover.
Next up, we have San Diego at home hosting Miami. San Diego's a 7-point favorite. I'm actually going to take Miami to cover. They're not going to win this game, but Miami should be able to hold close to them. Henne can move the ball. San Diego has played a bunch of close games so far. Even though they're at home, I don't know if it's the laid-back atmosphere, the beautiful weather, but I just see a closer game than 7 points.
Or the lack of fans. For once again, they're having a blackout. I can't believe at San Diego all these games get blacked out. I'm taking San Diego to cover. I know Antonio Gates with the foot issue may not play, not sure. But I really think San Diego's going to cover here. They had a bad game last week. I think they're going to turn it around.
Next up, we have Green Bay at home, hosting Denver. I see a Green Bay blowout. I don't think Denver's in any league of Green Bays, and I still think Green Bay's kind of got a, we're going to just keep putting points up, and I don't think Denver can stop them. So 12 points, I'm going to go ahead and take Green Bay.
I'm taking Denver to cover 12. It's a lot of points, but Denver has not played terrible. They played a decent game at Tennessee. They covered last week. Green Bay, yeah, you're right. No team is going to compare to Green Bay. So I'm going to take Denver to cover 12. I think they're getting some players back this week. I think they can do enough to at least cover the 12.
Next up, we have New England, 5-point favorite at Oakland. This is going to be my upset. I think Oakland can actually beat them. Give the ball to McFadden and let him run up and down. And here, if that doesn't work, throw the ball. New England can't stop anybody. I think they're last in every freaking pass defending category there is. Oakland proved last week it's a tough place to play, so I'm taking Oakland.
Yeah, I'm going to take Oakland to cover. I really think New England's going to win this game. I see it being more like a 3-point game. But just like you said, New England's defense is, if it wasn't for that, they'd be undefeated right now.
Yeah.
I got to take Oakland to cover 5 here.
If Oakland has a chance and they're 3 points down for a tie or something like that, they got Sebastian Janikowski, which is like he's shown so far this year that, if they're within 3 points, I can just see Oakland at least tying it, maybe get to overtime, still pulling this thing off. Mm-hmm. So next up at home, we have Baltimore against the New York Jets. Baltimore's a 3.5-point favorite. I'm not going to say much about this. Sanchez had a great game last week, but he didn't win it for you. Baltimore, blowout.
Yeah, but he didn't lose it either. He can't go out and play defense.
I didn't say he lost. I just said he didn't win it for you.
Yeah, well, I got to witness the Baltimore blowout of St. Louis last week. Unbelievable. But New York Jets, bad defensive game against Oakland, got run all over the field. These kind of games, when you're talking about the Jets and Baltimore, great defenses,
yes,
hard hitting, close games. I like the Jets to cover 3.5 here.
Yeah, the only reason I've got that at Baltimore's at home, I think if this game's played on the road, I might actually give the advantage to the Jets. Or if it was they played it at New York. But I think at home, I think Baltimore's going to look really tough.
Right.
Next up, we have Monday night, and once again, Indy's in the spotlight. Curtis Painter.
Curtis
Painter. Who's Lance Painter? He's a pitcher, isn't he?
Lance Painter was a pitcher for the Cardinals in the 90s, I think.
So you got Cardinals on the brain this week. Painter makes a start. From what I saw last week, they need shortstops out there instead of wide receivers. He bounced so many balls to him when they needed some catches. But that being said, I've got Indy covering. I think their defense might be able to hold them within 10 points.
Yeah, the Curtis Painter, I think it's probably the best thing. Nothing against Kerry Collins, but you got to get him out there and see what he can do. I mean, you've had him sit behind Manning for a while. You got to get him out there and let him play. I think Reggie Wayne was really pulling for him. So we'll see what he can do. It's not going to happen this week. I like Tampa to cover at home, 10 points. I think they're going to turn the offensive switch a little bit and really start moving. So look for a big game from Josh Freeman.
Yeah, that's it. Week number 4 in the books almost. We'll see how we did come Monday night. Look for our next video next Friday or Saturday, whenever we get to it.
Right.
So until next time.
Take care. Go Cards.
Go Cards.